Input in BlueJ Java. There are 4 different ways of inputting the values in the Java. The first one is by making use of parameterized function. The second one by making use of data input stream readers. Third one by making use of input stream readers. And the fourth one, which is the latest development, that is by making use of scanner classes. Now, programming done in any mode is acceptable, but we see the difference in this. The first one, that is by making use of parameterized function. In parameterized function, that is when we declare the function, may be any function or a main function, and we pass the parameters, that is the argument, inside its parenthesis. So in this function num1, we have to pass 2 values to run this or to execute this. Parameterized way of working with the function will be more clear when we will deal with the function chapter. Now we will learn how to take a simple inputs in Java. By making use of data input stream reader, this is also acceptable, but it is more preferred when we make use of binary files. Usually the files are of 2 types, text file and binary file. Binary file means those files which are having data in 0 and 1s, like audio video files, images. These all will be considered under your binary files. Then next we proceed with by making use of input stream readers. So firstly, we have to import IO package in order to make use of functions of stream class and buffer class. So you have just now clear with the video that what are stream class and buffer class. Whenever we have to make use of input stream reader, so the first thing is that we have to import java.io package in our program. Java.io.asterisk. Asterisk is a wildcard character that will import or call all the functions of IO package or the classes of IO package. So import is a keyword which helps us to import the IO package in our program. Now here comes 2 marks question. Name the keyword that is used to call packages in our program, and the keyword is import. We further proceed and we write class and the name of the class that you are going to decide, and then we put curly braces. After that, we are required to write public static void main string args throws IO exception. Now throws is a keyword that will send the input output exception generated during the execution of the main function. It can be any other function also. Remember, in the program you may have more than one function, but out of all the function, main function is the most important one because it is called as an executable function. This will be more clear as we further proceed to function chapter. Now after this, we write opening curly braces indicating the opening of the function, and we write buffered reader BR equals to new buffered reader new input stream reader system.in. Now we have seen the IPO cycle. IPO cycle says that from the keyboard to the processing unit input stream works, and to read the data from there we are having input stream reader, and for reading we make use of system.in. Now from the input data goes to the buffer. So to read the data from the buffer we make use of buffer class. The class, and this is the constructor of the class. New is the operator that we have seen in the last chapter. It dynamically provides the memory location for newly created objects. So BR is the object. That's why we write this statement. Actually, it is a to statement. Now let us come back again to the function declaration. In this function declaration, we have learned that whatever is passed inside the parenthesis of the function, it is called as an argument. An argument is used to take input. Now here we see it is written as string args as an array. Array means multiple characters can be passed, but it is having a data type of string. It means that this array is of string type, and that's why we say that Java always takes input in a form of string. Now this string needs to be converted into its required data type. If I input 53, this 53 is also a string. And so when we read data from the system.in, that is also as a string. So this line is actually 2 lines. We further see it is actually string str equals to new input stream reader system.in, and then system.in is transferring the value to input stream reader, and it is transferring the value to str, which is of string type because it is taking input in a form of string. And then this str is transferred to buffer reader. So whatever the value br is having, it is also is in a form of string. Let us further move to see input of different data type using buffer reader, where we are using parse function to convert from string to its respective data type. So for the integers, we remember byte, short, int and long comes under integer data type. So the number A, input of byte data type. So byte x equals to byte.parseByte br.readline. You may pass any value also here if it is of string type. Now what is important to understand, byte and byte, you see the difference of writing. The byte on my left hand side is written in small letter, and byte in the right hand side of the equal to is written in capital letter B. This is applicable for all the data type because primitive data types are always written in small letters. And after the assignment operator, parseInt is a function that is converting the string to the respective data type, and this work is done by the wrapper class. This is a wrapper class and this is my primitive data type. We further see input of short data type. So we will write the variable short s1 equals to short.parseShort. This s will be in capital br.readline. Remember, Java is a case sensitive language. Wherever short letters or wherever capital letters are required, we have to use in a same way. Otherwise, it will generate error in the program. The next example we see of input of int data type. Int num equals to integer.parseInt br.readline. We are aware of readline function. It reads more than one line including the white space from the buffer because we are using BR, that is the object of buffered reader. This all method is applicable when we are using buffer reader in our program for taking inputs. So int num equals to integer.parseInt br.readline. Similarly, if it is of long data type, then long L1, this is in small letter as this all are my primitive data types, equals to long, that is a wrapper class, dot pass long br dot read line. If we further proceed to decimal values, we are having float and double. So for the float, it will be float f1 equals to float dot pass float br dot read line, and for double, it will be double salary or any name that you want to give as a variable name equals to double dot pass double br dot read line. Instead of br dot read line, you can pass any variable also which is having double value of the salary, but it is in string, because it always reads the data in string. Further we proceed to take input of a string. Since Java already takes input in a form of string, so there is no conversion for the string. We don't write string dot parse string. We just write string str equals to br dot read line. The next most important is to take input of a character, where we make use of explicit data type. This is very important to understand. Character means only one character, like A, B, Y, N, 1, 0. We know that from the buffer, to read only a single character, we are having read function. To read more than one character, we are having function read line. So when this read will read the single character that is also in a form of string, it is required to get converted into the character, and then this is passed to any variable which you declare here. I had declared ch. So char ch. This is the whole of the explanation of taking input using the buffered reader. Next video, we will see to take input using the scanner classes. Thank you.